Oh my God, I did a whole thing on Instagram about this. I was calling it like drunk daddy syndrome. And these stories just come up. It's like, here's something to cite it. This actually is a thing. Um, so this cop was charged with sexual assault and he told the victim he didn't intentionally rape her. So there's this thing that socios do where they go, oh, I accidentally hurt you. I accidentally like punched you in the face because you made me mad. I accidentally did all these things, right? And I was actually talking about it in the context of people with addiction problems, like, because I mean, they're not all violent. That's the thing. It's like if everybody that had an addiction problem was violent, and when everybody's sober and they're not violent, then you could probably try to attribute it to that, right? So it's a false equivalence. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? Um, so what I was trying to explain in that context or was they're violent before they start drinking or start doing those things because they have problems. So they're trying to, they compensate and get highs and lows from it. These particular types, right, that we're talking about. And I said it takes a bit though to see the difference in these people because I was like, I don't want to say like they're all a bunch of socios. And it's like some girl like that just got raped and she's having, like a breakdown from it. And then she goes and does something, you know what I mean? Like it's that thing. But they're not off then turning into a monster rapist and beating everybody up, right? So you could differentiate a lot of times the difference between those types of people, but it is tied when you start looking at the definition of that. But I was talking about how everything's backwards because for them, when they harm other people, they have this backwards thinking about it and they know it. It's just a way for them to throw off, accountability on themselves and they'll go, you made me do it. It's just a type of thing like that because I just pulled up the murder case with I said it was such a good case to go through because that's really how their mind is. It's so empty. It's just I wanted to try something new and I just decided I want to murder my friend. And as you see, there's something missing there, right? Like a normal person would, I mean, that's just absurd. I mean, you wouldn't do or say anything like that. And if you are saying something like that, I would be completely concerned. I don't find it funny. That would have been creepy from hell if my friend started going on like that. We should just kill our friend. But the problem was the other guy sitting there just listening to it going, I just didn't take it seriously. I was like, you should be an LAPD because, like, that's them. I mean, I don't know how you say something like that and you're not reacting because that's a problem too. And though he didn't do the crime, he didn't react to it, and that's not normal either. Um, so this guy right here, oh my God, here's a cop. So I was like, yep, yep, yep. All of them were pro rapist, okay? But this is what happened. So he's from Pennsylvania and he was charged and with other related offenses this week, allegedly told his victim the assault was an accident. He accidentally committed a hate crime. He accidentally raped somebody. It's coming out of their mouths like this. And it had and I know the other story it was tied to uh Ireland continually ties because they're Catholic, okay? They're insane. Their courts tie rape as a thing where they're just ignorant about consent, even though the victim's telling them no. So it means that the perpetrator's like, I hear them saying no, but I'm ignoring them. So I already know that, I'm going against their will. So they already know, you know what I mean? It's not a thing where they don't know about consent. And then they also attribute it to pornography. And I'm like, oh no, you wouldn't attribute it to your doctrine because if you attribute it to your doctrine, that means you have to take some accountability for yourself and what you're teaching boys. And throughout the entire story, they were glorifying the perpetrator. It was the most insane thing I was reading through, but I go, it's pretty typical, mostly when they're white, because I was like, can you pull out a story where there's a black male, not within the last couple years, because there's been actually a lot where like when they're like, what are they, when they're sports figures or somebody that went to college or something like that, they will glorify them now. But when you go back into the further history, go back, I go, where do you see him sitting there going, you're the most perfect son, and your parents are like the epitome, like the most perfect angelic parents ever. And, so what caused you to do this? This is just a one-time offense that you harmed a human. It's just a thing about ignorance. We're going to have you go learn about consent. That's how they taught it in the courthouse over there. They were just glorifying him to the point that it was disgusting. I was like, show me a case where they did this with a black male. Let's say a black male back. Let's pull out 1990, okay? And he went and he raped somebody and he went into the courthouse. Do you think you would ever hear anything like that? You're the most perfect guy. What made you do that? No, this is a typical thing towards white males. So that was part of white supremacy. And I actually noticed it as a kid where I was saying they kept treating my brother like no matter what he did, he threw me down the stairs. He's perfect angel. He's this, and then he harmed me and he hurt my arm, did some weird things. He wasn't like this massive monster, but he did some bad things, and they continually like enabled him, right? And but they kept like making him perfect, no matter like he could do no wrong. It was the craziest thing. And then, but with females, the general thing is always saying what's wrong with them, right? So you always get this negative feedback, no matter what. Even if your parents were like, you're perfect, the outside world is continually talk about how terrible you are, and you're this, you're that, and you'll never be like these perfect white men. It was really disgusting, and it's weird that I picked it up when I was so young, and I don't know why anybody else didn't, because I was like, mostly when you're a female, like you should pick up that you're being treated differently and terrible versus you're so perfect, even though you punched your sister in the face. It's like this thing. So this is this guy. I don't know what his ethnicity is, but his name is Justin Hain. And oh, at the end of that other story though, really quick, then at the end of the story, it goes, the girl can no longer do her career, she had to drop out, do this whole thing, right? It was so negative and he ruined, her whole future there. And his attorney's like, oh, our client here finished college and he's on his way to a great career and this and that and this and that. And I go, oh, that's great. That's wonderful. I go, there's the pyramid scheme. That's a pyramid scheme. It was meant to be there because the Catholics don't actually want women going out working. They want them at home and having babies, right? So to them, they don't even see a problem with the scenario there at all. None. And I've had so many cases I kept pulling up from Ireland. I was like, holy crap. I was like, I'm not calling anybody Lord. But this case didn't have a Lord. It was some other area. And I was like, I don't know, dude, but those people are a hot mess. I was like, but I pull them up, I find the cases. So then here it's like, okay, so Officer Justin Hain with Steelton County Police is accused of assaulting the woman on Wednesday, and he was charged Thursday. I was like, when does this happen? Okay, so the next day, and then it says, according to Penn Live. And so it said, citing court documents, the news outlet reports that Hain was in the home of the woman, and after she came out of the shower, he allegedly ripped off her towel and ignored her pleas for him to stop. Because that's so romantic, right? The court's documents state that when the victim called Hain the next day to ask why he attacked her, he said, I didn't intentionally rape you. What type of answer is this? I didn't intentionally rape you. Hain is charged with one count of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse and one count of rape by forcible compulsion and two counts of sexual assault, one count of indecent assault with forcible compulsion, and one count of indecent assault without consent, according to court documents. So yes, he's a typical guy. Let me see if there's a photo of him because I was just like, what's his age here? Wait a minute. Yeah, he's the typical one that I would assume would do that. Yes. Uh-huh. Um, yes, completely. Do you see that? I don't know what it is, you guys. Like, I just know. I look at him, I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm just trying to break down, like, what it is that I'm reading off of because it's just, like an automatic thing. So I've been trying to dissect it for everybody. Like, what is it that I'm picking up on? Like the other guy that I pulled up, I go, I don't even need to know his background. The minute he started talking, that was the end of it. And I was kind of looking at it and I'm like, why? What is it about that guy that is like, if I were to explain to you, like, why, what was the problem? I think it has to do with his mannerisms and the way he's speaking. So his speaking is insincere. His eyes are hella strange. And it's just bullshit out of his mouth. So it's not like I'm just looking at him going, "Oh, he's ugly," and I just this and that. It's a combo of physical traits and though something about their speech manners, but yeah, physical traits. Like the look on their face is insincere. It has a thing about it, so I think I'm reading off of that. It definitely has to be a portion of that because there's been a lot where I was like, oh my God, just looking at him like freaks you out, right? And it has to do, it's not just because they're like genetically looking weird, it has something to do with their brain activity. Like, you will know like a day when somebody's really truly happy, right? I was talking about this. Like, if you just change the look on their face a little bit, they would look way more friendly features versus when somebody's going through a manic phase or something like that. I go, they're kind of scary. Like, what is that? And you pick it up. Like, you can pick it up when somebody's like on something, but you may not know what it is, but they're like on something and you could pick it up. And you're like, yeah, there's something off with that guy, or whoever. And, yeah, like when you're looking at this, I was like, I don't know, dude. That guy looks like the typical rapist. He just does. I don't know. 30s. Oh, yeah, he's 38. Okay, yeah. He's almost 40. That's kind of where I figured. Okay, so they were born in the middle part of 1985. So in 1985, they didn't use the word rape, and in 1985 was atrocious. So what that means is that his upbringing was during the height of that satanic panic and at the height of abusing children and promoting rape throughout 1985 through 1995, when you're talking about in that period there. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what I'm talking about. And because the mass shooters came out from, I mean, a lot of them, the main one, kind of came out from this period too. And that's the area we're looking at because I know it's from that whole combo of things that we're talking about. And yeah, but he was a cop, dude. So guess how he's treating cases when they come to him? He's gonna be okay with it. What does it say here? Okay. Oh, he raped the woman as she was feeding her child. They left that out of the story. What the hell? In any field, there is going to be people who commit grievous offenses. Oh, we should just expect it, right? Okay. When that occurs, we need to take action very, very quickly to ensure that they're not continuing to carry a gun and carry a badge and potentially abuse their power. Okay, troopers say in the criminal complaint that the woman told them when she got out of the shower with the towel and was with her child, he came out of his bedroom with a weird grin and told him not to touch her. Okay, so then that's what happened. Okay, and then he raped the child, pinned her on the couch, and allegedly raped her. A woman said the police said she told him to stop, hit him multiple times, and she also told investigators that at one point he pushed her head into the couch and she was not able to move. And then she waited till he went to work, and then she was able to go to a friend's home and call the police. Okay, and then okay, and then he apologized, and then he was suspended from his duties, and then okay, yeah. All right. So this is the weird thing about it, right? Okay, so sure, he shouldn't have a gun, right? This is kind of like yeah, I don't think anybody should, but but regardless of that, okay. It's not actually part of the story, right? The gun part. Like I mean, taking away his gun doesn't stop him from being a rapist, right?